Had some technical difficulty there for a minute. I don't know what the hell I did. I pushed a button and I had to reboot the entire thing. Good morning. This is Suburbanprepper. I guess I try to do my live morning drives Monday through Friday, but they're not every day. I can't do them every day. And I'm at the gas station getting some petrol. I don't trust when people are turn on their signal, and I don't know that they absolutely turn until they turn. I don't trust people, period, when it comes to driving. I shouldn't, and I don't. So I'm arranging my cage. I got a prepper cage, okay, and I'm keeping all my ammo where I can access it quite easily, just walking through the cage. Instead of stockpiled up high, it's down low. Or if I want to grab something out of each crate and container, I can. I'm also hanging all my freedom sticks upside down with the barrel facing down, so nothing is up like that. So nothing can all drain out if it has to. If there's any moisture or anything. That's the best way to store a firearm, is the barrel, facing the ground, not to the air. Okay. Because if there's some humidity or something, it gets stuck in the bolt group of the bolt, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just doing a revamp of my cage. It's literally a cage. And I'm going to probably add a lock to it as my daughter is getting older. My friends start coming over and whatnot, just for safety. Nothing's 100%, but there's varying degrees of safety. And I have other things regarding firearms I don't disclose publicly. I'm sure everybody does. So yesterday I got some rope, okay? I twisted it, or I threw it over the beam that holds my house up. I twisted it up to make sure the tensile strength's a lot better than it was originally. And so I can start doing some pseudo Pilates with it, and also work out where I have I can use my elastic bands at a higher. Basically, I was doing dips with my elastic bands yesterday, and it was quite a hell of a workout. I was doing pull downs. I can't go to the gym. I can't function at the gym. I can't sit flat on a bench press. I just can't do it. I'm wasting my time. When I was benching with my back like that, I was guarding. I wasn't going to go up over any weight because I wasn't in the correct surface area. So I did the band workout. It's a hell of a workout, okay? Folks, I'm not lying to you. Then I tried to get down in ups, and it was a burn. It was a good workout. And there's a couple moves that you got to do to work out. Or you do what you do, I do what I do. But I'm totally revamping my cage, and that will include my prepper area. And I am contemplating moving my desk into the cage. That desk takes up a lot of space, not doing a lot of contemplating. Anyway, so this weekend I did a nice de-weeding of my garden, and I composted everything. Now, we have a community pool where I live at, okay, in my subdivision, because I am the Suburban Prepper. You don't. Anyway, I'll digress. So anyway, there was a bunch of weeds in the by the pool area, and I'm like, man, if I had some gloves and a little bag, I would have pulled all those weeds out because that would be great to add to the compost. Anybody ever do that? Think about it. The same with like leaves. You just add the leaves to the compost and you just let them disintegrate. The only thing I worry about is grass clippings because we get our grass treated. I think it's fertilized. I got to check what we actually put in the grass to see if I can compost it or not. But the other thing that we do with the grass is we don't bag it. We just cut it with the cutter. And it cuts it real fine and it composts back on itself. But any refuse from the house, I compost. I got to call my local grocery store to see if I can get one day's worth of their fruit and vegetable waste and put it in my compost. That would almost be worth it. But I haven't done it. And you have to talk with a manager. You can't just talk with like the guy that was bagging the groceries because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Well, Jimmy said I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, as a prepper, I want to organize my preps. I don't know that I'm lacking anything material-wise with my preps. One thing that I do want to do is a better inventory of my freedom seeds. For the different calibers that I shoot, which are 22 LR, okay, 9 mil, okay, I mean, so far so good. 223, 5.56. To me, they're different calibers, okay. 224 Valkyrie, okay. 308, 300 Win Mag. I have 130-06 rifle. And 50 BMG. Another thing that I want to do is I've got some metal shelving. Yeah, we'll see. This guy's a jack of all trades. And I just missed my exit. It's okay. I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. Wasn't thinking. Money. Excuse me. So I think from now on, when I do my workout, I'm going to do the push-ups first and do the calisthenics first before I do the bands. Because I tell you that the bands, I mean, my tries were burning, my lats were burning, my pecs were burning. And it wasn't that heavy of a weight, but I was using double the weight because the way I set it up, I double band it. But it felt good though. It felt really good. So I was sort of beating myself up yesterday thinking I was pathetic because the way I do the band at home with the machine or with the stick is I don't double band it. But when I was doing like the pull downs, I was double banding it. Either way, I need to work on my strength. Now, it's hard to equate how much you can band workout versus how much you can bench press, because when you do one or the other, the nerves in your body grow differently. But strength is strength. The thing I want to get, well, I have, is a bag of rocks, and I want to just get it, and I want to throw it in front of me. Not some stupid PT test that they have in the Army where you throw the rocks or the ball behind you. Now, that's a good test of strength, to be able to get a bag of rocks, like a 50, 60-pound bag of rocks, pick it up and just throw it. And use your whole body when you do it, you know, from a squatting motion up, and then pick it up and throw it over again. Or is that just crazy talk? The Suburban Prepper. Well, that kinetic motion is good, you know, it's good for the muscles. Oh, look, they're building something nice. They're building a house here at the preserve. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to call Bear Creek Arsenal to find out the status of my bolt carrier group. It's cool though. You know, I have my Sight Mark Latitude rifle scope, and Sight Mark, they watched my video and they said something. So it's cool when, you know, one of the companies that you use their product respond back. That was pretty nice. Sightmark also makes a good digital scope, and now they make that digital scope with a thermal optic with it. I don't need to buy it. Yeah, I would, but I don't really have any use for it because I already have thermal. It'd be nice if I got really, really famous and they'd be like, hey, we want you to try this out and make a video. Give us your honest feedback. I've never been disappointed in any Sightmark products. But you got to be realistic in what the product is intended for and what you want to use it for. So, like, let's say you're a sniper, okay? I'm just pretending, okay? And you want to snipe. You can't snipe if you can't see. So realistically, if you're going to do the sniping stuff, you got to make sure you have like the batteries and stuff. And the problem is when you're doing any kind of sniping, you just sit there, look through your scope, waiting for something to hit. And the scope, electric and thermal scope, do not last that long. They use a lot of electricity. And some scopes they can only be charged, or they can only run with battery. Smarter companies have it where you can use an external source via USB or whatever. Does anybody know what the hell I'm talking about? Does anybody use thermal scopes, or is it just me? Back when I was in the military, I mean, I knew about thermal scopes. There were certain units that had them. I was never in my National Guard unit. I don't think we even had thermal optics in our TO&E. But I'm sure that's changed. Drinking some coffee. I got 5 hours of sleep last night. I'll tell you what, though. I go to sleep now, I just fall right asleep. I say within 30 seconds, which is nice. So, but seriously, you ever like drive around and you see a heap of leaves? You're like, yeah, I could compost those leaves. And you think to yourself, yeah, I could. But if you're going to take someone's leaves that they're recycling, you got to make sure you take all of them and clean up the mess, because you only be respectful. Don't be a total douche. So you got to think about that. Can you really use all the leaves? I really don't want to go to work today. The riots about the illegal aliens are supposed to kick off today. We'll see what the hell happens. You know, those riots are funded by Soros or whoever. Hell, they're probably funded by the Koch brothers, for that matter. Those are some set of Republicans who hate Donald Trump. And I don't like illegal aliens being here for really one reason in our country. Well, there's several reasons, but the big one is a humanitarian reason. I don't like having someone here that's subservient in status in our nation. When you're automatically here illegally, you're subservient, and people can treat you like shit. And I don't care who you are. I don't like people being treated like shit. But if you have that status, people can take advantage of that and work you and not pay you as much as they would someone that's here on the legal status. So that's the number one thing for me. Okay, it's not because they're from the South America or wherever the hell they're from. Two, the fact that they're here illegally is already an issue. You've already violated the laws. You can't go into any other country in the world, okay? Any other country in the world. Maybe that's how I should talk. Any other country in the world, you go somewhere, you ain't got no business being there. They're going to kick your ass out. You know what I'm saying? any other country, even Canada. You see that in Australia. You can't go to Australia without a reason. And the customs people, they're going to inspect your shit. Like, you're on vacation? Where you staying at? We're going to call them and find out. Or you got a girlfriend? What's her name? Why is she here to pick you up? You know what I'm saying, folks? And 3, we are not a welfare state. It's bad enough we have citizens that abuse our state of grace, our disability welfare, and they use it as a lifestyle choice and not as a means to step up. So you're already sucking the tithe off of the citizens' taxes. The money comes from somewhere, and it's our money. We pay for it. Instead of building our own infrastructure, making things great again. So no, I'm not opposed to what Trump's doing. I'm in favor of it. I think these protesters are idiots. Suck it. If you're here illegally, and it looks like they're targeting criminals that are here illegally, illegal aliens that have committed criminal acts. How can you defend those people? It has nothing to do with the race. Well, they're Mexican. Well, Mexican's not a race, it's a country. Or South American. I'm pretty dark-skinned like a lot of South Americans are because of my Greek heritage. It has nothing to do with skin color. I like the Mexican South American culture. I love it. It has nothing to do with culture. I love the music. It's just that you're in the wrong place where you don't belong. Now, I will critique the America, the United States, in a heartbeat if something's effed up. But not for the reasons you think. Like during Trump's first term, okay, and the bump stock ban that he tried to do just to appease those Democrats. He basically sold out to do that. And that really pissed me off about Trump. What pissed me off about Reagan is he didn't really give a shit about your Second Amendment. And Bush Bush was just Bush Senior was a neo-conservative, a warmongering conservative. Hell, he was director of the CIA. What did you expect? Yeah, he was a fighter pilot. He got shot down. He loved his country. I ain't dissing that, but I can disagree with someone and still honor them for their service. You don't have to be. I have my core beliefs. I can disagree with someone in my core beliefs. And what I don't like is when the leftists see that we still have arguing and bickering on the right, that somehow we're fractured. No, we don't all have the same opinion about something. And that's what makes you a good, having that ability to disagree. And I'm going to another point now. I'm not really paying a lot of attention about this Elon Musk, Trump disparity bullshit that they're talking about. I think it's all a ruse. I think Musk has done with the Dodge stuff, he's going to go back to running his company. And let's be honest, who buys electric cars? Mostly a bunch of bleeding heart liberals. So he's got to appease that base. And I think that they both agreed to that, and it's all just a front. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm entitled to my opinion, even though I might be wrong. Because Musk is still has SpaceX, and what's SpaceX doing? They're basically NASA. NASA's not doing anything. What's NASA doing? I mean, there might be some secret project with Space Force. Who knows? So here's how that's just my opinion, okay? You're entitled to what you think. I think it's all just a front. I think these rioters are getting paid to riot. And the ones that know how to community organize, and they'll get people there to riot, and I don't have to pay them. But I just think that's another malarkey. Are you worried about these riots? I mean, it's summertime. People like to riot when the weather's warm because, God forbid, you do it when it's cold. Notice you don't have a lot of riots in our country in the winter. It's only in the summer. People aren't working anyway. Oh, let's give them some money and let's go riot. And they've shown multiple cases of people just getting paid to express themselves, whatever they're paying. Which is another reason why I'm reorganizing my ammunition supply point in my basement to have easier access to it, if you get my drift. So I added a buy me a cup of coffee to my social media. It's an expensive cup of coffee, but it is what it is. Basically, if you like the content that somebody produces, you donate a certain amount of money to them so they continue making good content. I'm not monetized yet on Facebook or anything like that. Probably be about a year, I'd say, at the rate I'm going. Because you have to have, in my case, I have plenty of subscribers, but I got to have, within the past year of that particular day, 3,000 watch hours. And I'm almost halfway there. I'm at 1,300 as of this morning. And it updates every couple of days. So I try to, and if I monetize, okay, once you get monetized, you can stay monetized unless you mess up and do something that breaks the rules of whatever. But there's other ways to monetize. Like I'm on Rumble, but I don't post any of my videos on Rumble. I really need to. And of course, buy me a coffee that's one way that you can self-monetize. And I'm learning about how to use the search engine optimization on YouTube. About when you make videos, about what should be the main tag, should be the main thing about the video first, and then go down the line. I mean, you watch people talk about this stuff all day, but you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Then you realize it's a different art on its own. It's 7:43. I got to be at work by 0800 hours. I hope I have everything in my bag. I didn't leave anything hanging at work Friday. School bus out. School, there's no school anymore. Who knows? Even though it's summer vacation, if it's a school bus, you got to really stop for the kids. There's some people in my subdivision. They don't even stop at the light. I saw one drive by the school bus before. I swear I wanted to shoot him. Or no, I didn't say that. I wish that the police officers would have stopped him. But, they're not there. So yesterday I took out my Anchor battery. That's all it is. It's a battery, okay? And got my 60-watt solar panel, and I took it to the pool to charge up, and it was charging. And then I charged my phone, and it charged fast. I just used the USB to phone app, phone wire, and I mean, it charged. I thought it was going to charge slow, but charged fast. I wanted to make a video about it, but I didn't. Oh, anyway. So part of my component of prepping is electronics. Electronics are not going anywhere. I mean, have a backup of your electronics in case there is an EMP attack. That's all I can say about that, folks. I can definitely tell you I'm sore from working out yesterday. The old conventional wisdom of working out is you work out, you rest a couple of days, let your muscles heal, and then go work out again. But yet, they tell runners, especially in the military, go run every day to build up your endurance. What if I did a little workout every single day, every body part, for a couple of weeks? What would happen? How would I transform? Or would I get injured? I'm afraid that's what I'm afraid of ripping a tendon. Look at this GI Joe. Anyway, it just cuts us off. And the light's red about 400 meters ahead of us. And maybe further than 400. I digress. So yeah, if you like my content, buy me a cup of coffee. One thing I like to do is try to make my videos better every day. And I get inspired to make medical videos through something that happens at work throughout the week. And I'll just jot some shit down, like make a video about, so this week it was about migraines. I wanted to do a natural video on migraines because a couple of my patients are having migraines. And I don't know how much they exaggerate their symptoms, okay? Because part of me thinks, okay, they're really just exaggerating their symptoms just for some, They want stronger medicine or whatever. Or they maybe really have real bad migraines. I know what I got to do today. I got to clear out we get reminders about labs and stuff we got to look over. And I didn't get to do that on Friday like I wanted to. But I got all the paperwork filled out. Someone dropped off a form with their name on it on a yellow sticky paper. It did not fill out the form. And I tried to call this person twice now, but the mailbox is full. And what I know what's going to happen is the nurse is going to get mad at me because at the last minute, this person's going to need that form. Don't drop off a blank form at your medical provider. And if you have a number, make sure you have access to it. It's hard. We can't reach you. We can't talk to you. Not our fault. That's definitely a first world problem, okay? So this week, I think I'm going to have to transplant the zucchini into the plants. I'm going to have to start to do that because they're taking up too much space in the little grow things now. I think they're strong enough. And they took off like a Rottweiler. 7:51. I'm about 2 minutes out from work. So this is going to be my last week of work where I just do telephone visits all day. And now they're going to change it where I don't do telephone visits anymore on Monday. I do regular visits and I mix the telephone visits up. And I'm going to have a conversation with the nurse about being mindful of my time because they ignore the fact that I have telephone visits and I have to call people, and they bring the patient to see me after the patient's scheduled time while I'm already doing a telephone visit, and so we're going to have to revamp that. And it sucks either way, but I can't do two things at the same time. One thing that I can't stand at work is when they double book a patient. Like two patients scheduled at the same time. It'd be great, if someone doesn't show up, that's fine. That's one thing. But you don't want that. Your time's precious. Their time is precious. Let's make good use of the time. And no, I don't have, these patients think that they can come in 15, 20 minutes late for an appointment. And somehow I can miraculously see them. That's going to come to an end. What I don't get, though, is there's some patients that are notorious, like they've never been to the clinic before. They schedule an appointment at the clinic because they've called it, but they never drive, even though it's like 5 minutes away from where they live. They don't drive to where the clinic is to just make sure they find it. And so they're half an hour late for the appointment. I get pressured into seeing the patient in that amount of time. And then it interferes with the care of my other patient, it interferes with care with that patient. And someone's in my spot again, as usual. Ugh. And my RN's not going to be here today because they work a compressed work week. Why don't I get to work a compressed work week? Uh, we'll see. Guy looks pissed off. You go to see your doctor, right? And you drop off some bullshit paperwork that you think you have a right to get filled out. And it's totally against the question that you're demanding is not ethical to do. And the patients will, like, here's an example, okay? I have patients that tell me every day, I need you to write me a script for marijuana. Well, I said, I work for the feds. We don't do marijuana. And even if we could, I would not get involved with that. Just because there's medical marijuana that's available doesn't mean I'm obligated to prescribe it. The way I see it, marijuana makes you dumb, stupid, and promotes dementia. Does it have some medicinal purposes and some neurological conditions? Yes. But I'm not prescribing it.